Hello there. Just be real. How are you? Hey, Ernestine. Good evening to you. We're waiting for a few others to click right in. Hello there, Evangelist Karen. How are you? Cluster Be Free. Thank you for joining us on this evening. We will be discussing the triggered narcissist. We're going to talk about the endangerment of having that happen and what you should do if that happens. Hello there. Is that Kiana? How are you? You're not usually up this late. Hello there, Danielle. How are you? Thank you for joining me, everybody. Let us go forth. We're getting ready to talk about when you trigger a narcissist. What does that mean, especially when you know they are a narcissist? Good evening, Felicia. How are you? Thank you so much. Right, Kiana? I mean, you are up late, girl. Look at you. You said, well, it's Wednesday. All I got to do is get up and go to work tomorrow. All right, come on. Let us go into the triggered narcissist. A trigger means you have reached a very sensitive area of the narcissist's life. And what it could be is they consider it as a narcissistic wound or a narcissistic hurt. And when you deal with the trigger, that means you're in something that has provoked a memory, something that has happened in the past that has scarred them, devastated them. When you talk about triggers, you're talking about a tremendous response from a past hurt, past wound. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, you have to be careful how you trigger them based on the type of narcissist it is, because some narcissists can become very violent. Some of them can unalive you when they are triggered because it takes them back. And you got to remember they already have a problem with empathy. They really don't like to give you sympathy. And sometimes it can be elating just to bring in discomfort in your life. And when you understand the traits of a narcissist, there's at least 9 of them. And it has to be between 5 and 7 that are diagnosed to register as a narcissist. And sometimes you may see this in people. Yeah, you may see this in individuals, and you have read different manuals that let you know the traits of a narcissist. And you say, wait a minute, the person I'm with is like that. And you notice that when you talk certain tones or you say certain things, they get real triggered. And when they get triggered, I mean rage, outbursts. And when I say rage, to the highest form. I mean, that type of rage. They scream, they holler, they have temper tantrums, they start smearing you, they start blaming you, they start focusing on everything that's wrong with you. If you will only, you always do, and I'm tired of this. And so they get that going. And what you try to do, you try to appease the situation, take the heat out of the fire, and the more you try to appease them, the more angrier they get. And the reason they get angry because now you have reacted and they know that your reaction has caused you to be perturbed. It has caused you some discomfort. And they lean in on that discomfort. They push in on you being upheaval and unhinged. And they continue it. She said, doesn't take much to have a narcissist triggered by the smallest statement or action, something he or she comes as a criticism. She said, just saying no can create a verbal or physical rape. Right. No, wait, not now. Hold on, baby. I'm coming. Oh, they don't want to hear that. When they say, can you do this? All they want to hear is, I'm doing it. Not you're going to do it. I'm doing it. And when you say, hold on, as soon as I finish this, oh. And you got to remember in certain areas, immaturity is definitely evident. And you can tell where the stifle began or where the lockdown began. And they're coming out at that uh, age level, even though they may be 60 years old, even though they may be 40 years old. And you look at them, and when they have those temper tantrums, you're thinking, that's just like a kid. That's just like a child. But they're an adult and could be very dangerous. And usually, when you're dealing with a malignant, a overt psychopath, sociopath, that can be dangerous. You have to use wisdom in how you handle them. The altruistic and the covert usually hurt, and they are thinking how to get you, or how to get someone to get you. Then, of course, you have the intelligent narcissist. And the intelligent narcissist is very cerebral, very calculative, and very condescending because their intellect is their God. They're going to prize their intellect above everything. And they don't think there's nobody smarter than them, wiser than them. And to even think that you're on their intellectual level is offensive. They want you to bow down your intelligence to them. So psychologically, they're always thinking. Psychologically, they're always calculating. And they watch your every move. The more calculative a narcissist is, the more observant they are. They observe your breathing pattern. They observe the way you move. They observe what turns you on, what turns you off. They know your pattern, where you've been, where you come from. They know that. And sometimes they're in the room and you notice they're just watching you. You've been with them for 5 years and they're watching you as if they just met you. But the deviousness in their look, the deviousness in their stare become quite concerning. Because you, like a kid calculating a toy, you can tell that there's a scheme being devised. And it throws you off. It makes you wonder, why are they doing this? And you say, babe, are you all right? And they're like, I'm fine. And they're looking right at you as if you better get this message. You better hear what my eyes are saying. Karen said, the target can deal with a mature narcissist reacting like a 4 or 5-year-old, throwing a temper tantrum. They are revengeful and petty in their reaction, and they will destroy anything important. When a narcissist is triggered, he's looking to hurt you or someone near you, someone close to you. If they can defame you, they will. And everything's going to be your fault. Everything. They will not take responsibility for anything. You will be blamed. The blame game is to trigger you instead of them being triggered. Because now the narcissist is triggered. And when they trigger, they really feel naked. They feel unmasked. How dare you trigger me? How dare you? And that's what they're thinking. How dare you trigger me? Who are you? When I am this, I am great. You're not on my level. And you're thinking, what are you talking about? I cook for you. I clean for you. I serve you. I done had your kids. What do you mean I'm not on your level? Then the narcissist is triggered. Because how dare you think you can talk back to me? And you thinking talking back to you? I'm a grown person. What do you mean? Be careful and make sure you know what class of narcissist you're dealing with. Because the cerebral narcissist is calculative, cunning. The somatic narcissist can be very vengeful. The covert can scheme others to come up against you because they don't like to be targeted. They like blame to go otherwhere, other places. Overt, a malignant psychopath, sociopath, they just be up in your face. Now the psychopath can be scheming. He can act just like a covert, charming. And in his eyes or in her eyes is every story, I'm going to get you back. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get you back. They never said it, but you read it through their eye. Or sometimes you do something, their eyes turn black. The whole eye is black. The entire eye is black. And when you look in their eyes, you can see hatred. You have not seen hatred like the hatred in a narcissist's eyes when he has that narcissistic stare. And he's looking at you as if you've done something wrong. And like he wants to unalive you. And this stare goes all the way through your bones. And you've seen people hate, but not this kind of hate. This is not a regular hate. And when you trigger him, you may notice that narcissistic stare. And you're trying to figure out, what is this? Let me tell you something. When you trigger a narcissist, use wisdom. Don't try to defend. You think. Especially if you got kids. Because a narcissist in rage got blackout moments. If you think about a regular person in rage, they have blackout moments. They do things and they don't remember. A narcissist, but they may feel bad afterward. A narcissist won't feel bad afterwards. Because remember, one of the problems they have is being empathetic and sympathy. Compassion. Not compassion. They don't have compassion. They have purpose. They have strategy. They have intent. And sometimes it seems like they're regular, they're norm, like they can love people. Like when you were love bombed, you're like, but he loved me. And when he said, I love you, you could feel that he loved you. It went all the way through your body. And that's why you feel like, I've never had this kind of love before. No, you haven't, unless you had another narcissist, right? Hey, Crystal. She said narcissist rage is very dangerous. Very dangerous. A malignant, overt, psychopath, sociopath. Very dangerous. The cerebral, very calculative. The covert is usually going to throw a rock and hide his hands. He's going to get somebody else, Crystal, to do their dirty work. Autistic, they're very dangerous because the autistic narcissists usually have to handle sick people or infirm people or women who have kids who need help, because the autistic narcissist would rather have a dominant narcissist, like an overt or psychopath or a malignant. That's what they really want. But what happens is when you set them off, eye off, hello there, hey, and then they're set off, and they're set off with fire in their chest. When you are dealing with a narcissist, you have to deal wisely. They're not cut out like you're cut out. They don't think like you're thinking. They doesn't conclude the way you conclude. A narcissist is very entitled. They are very grandiose, where they think they are the most important people in the world. She says sometimes they don't even look. You know what, Karen? Some of your words are cut off. Some of your words are cut off. It's hard to see it. She said sometimes they don't look. She said, but use the rage. But because the rage is so intense, they hide your keys, eyeglasses, anything they know you need. Trigger warning. They will harm children, pets, and break cell phone. They will. She said, once you set them off, oh my God, you better run. See, and that's that overt. And they don't, and it doesn't matter where they are. When they have blackout moments, you can be in a grocery store. Oh, it's on in the grocery store. And then they get themselves together. So if they know the cops are coming, because somebody called the cops, because they're going off on you and people don't want to be involved in that environment, then they will change. They will shift on you. They will get you, come on, baby. I know I went off, but I'm sorry. And then get you out of the store and get you home. Then it's a different story. Because the narcissists do not want you to hold them accountable. It's a trigger when you hold them accountable. When you hold them responsible for their action, it triggers anger, it triggers rage, it triggers content of strategy. It would trigger them into vengeance. And you know what? When you've done something and you know you had a confrontation with a narcissist, and all of a sudden it's like a Jekyll and Hyde. They were raging and then they turned real nice. Really nice. You better think about that. I think that was Eye Off that was saying, look, no, that was Crystal Bush that said, when you trigger them, you better run. You better get out of there. Get yourself out of there and get the children out of there. Because when they hurt, they don't care who they hurt. Sometimes if you got an animal and it's just you and them, and you wonder how the animal died, ain't nobody there but you and him. And then he'll tell you some story, and you're looking at him like, how is that so? Because of this. It don't even make sense. And they don't care if it makes sense, as long as they're not responsible. As long as they don't be held accountable. They do not care. I think the hardest thing when you trigger a narcissist, to see their reaction, you're thinking, this is a grown woman. This is a grown man. What's that got to do with anything? It don't have to do with anything. Narcissists, a lot of times, are underdeveloped because of things that have occurred in their childhood. They wasn't able to go beyond that moment. In that moment, other people are hurt. They probably were stifled, and they even struggle. But they don't lock themselves within themselves. They still able to feel compassion, feel sadness. They may be filled with anger, but they're able to feel something different than the anger. And the narcissist keeps the anger, build the anger, lodge on the anger. And you're like, how can you not feel sorry for that? How can you not have compassion for that? And then what happens is they throw you in the question. She said, and they keep on nagging you too, because they want what they want. Narcissists remind me of a person who has attention deficit. Have you noticed a person with attention deficit wants something and they do not stop until they get it? They keep going on and on and on and on until they bring you to a place where just to shut them up, you give it to them. The triggers that set them off are the most volatile, physical, and emotional. Of course. when you think about it, you may ask, why you get so enraged over something like this? It can be, I want a glass of water. And you say, hold on, baby, I'm going to get you a glass of water as soon as I finish this. They go off the edge. She said, when someone calls the police, they get very calm and blame the target. She said they and have 4 laptops. She done had 4 laptops broken up. Wow. She said even urinated on my new laptop to me by a friend, given by a friend to replace a laptop. Now that is totally putrid. But it's not beyond them. You said, but the stuff they do, you wouldn't believe it. You better believe it. They're daring, they're bold, they're targeted, they're focused. They want what they want when they want it, and they want you to do it now. Kids is an extension of them. Well, they're empty and hollow, so what are the kids? Don't try to use a child to stop him out. He's going to love his child. You can end up jeopardizing that child based on the type of narcissist they are. Because you got some that know the law. So rather than to get entangled with the law, they deceive you into screaming, hollering. They get reactions out of you. And then if you know when they get a reaction out of you, they film it, tape it, and will let you hear the tape. And threaten you that that's what they're going to use. She said narcissist will start crying and play the victim when the cops arrive. I'm talking Oscar-worthy performance. Girl, you are so right. You're right. And guess what? They don't seen enough movies to know those characters. And remember, they are great mirrors and mimickers. They mimic what they see. They mimic what they know. They can imitate. They're almost like parrots. And they will act like as if you hit them, as if you threatened them. And you did not. You did no sort of thing. But remember, they have a problem with responsibility. They have a problem with accountability. So they're not going to lay claim to what they do. They're not going to lay claim to the wrong they do. They'll lay claim to what you do to make sure they blame you for it. And when you go left and start crying, it makes them feel so good. Why? Because they feel like they won. And that's where you're supposed to be. Triggering a narcissist can cause a smear campaign. It can cause physical and emotional violence. Tough out here, huh? And when a narcissist know that you have reacted to them, they don't stop. They push in and they press in. Are you hearing me? They push in and they press in. So one thing you have to do, when you're with a narcissist, they don't let them just learn what triggers you. You got to learn what triggers them. You got to learn how they function. You got to learn how they move. Your life can depend on it. And it doesn't matter if you've been with them for 15 years. If you know within that 15-year span, it hadn't got better. She said a narc is like a house of mirrors at a carnival. Believe it or not, that can be pretty scary. And it's not just regular mirrors, Danielle. It's distorted mirrors. It's distorted mirrors. Because what they try to mirror from you is the good in you, but because their mind is warped in this perception, You'll be amazed when that information is transmitted to their brain, how they think about it. Because the good in you gets attacked. She said, very scared and distorted. Right, right. And what they want to do is always de-size you, bring you down to where they think you are. And wherever it is going to definitely be below them. A narcissist is also afraid of your strength. When you show strength, you'll trigger them. And you may even trigger them where they discard you because they can't stay where they're not in charge. So they discard you. And you're like, what did I do? It doesn't matter what you do. Narcissists have to have the constant. They have to have the constant. That's why you can pick up they're constantly cheating. And they tell you they went out to a place, you can't even find them. I don't know, have no evidence that they was ever in that place. It's funny how they put a lot of mental effort into situations that can even destroy themselves. As long as it hits you, as long as it destroy you, you are right, Crystal. They don't care. What they care about is that they get what they want. She said they always want you off balance, disoriented, and off course. Absolutely. Because it makes them feel powerful. And remember, a narcissist is almost drunk with power. So they got to have you off. They got to have you off. They got to have you dysfunctional. Because anything dysfunctional is less than the narcissist. And everybody around him has to be less than him. The narcissists get around a stronger narcissist, then the lesser narcissist always becomes subservient. She said a male or female narcissist would injure themselves, call the police, and oh yeah. Now the innocent target winds up in jail, and they thought, even though they attacked the target, right? Absolutely. And the thing is, they don't mind cutting themselves or whatever. Because to trigger them, there is vengeance the moment you do it. And they're thinking, I'm going to get you back. How dare you? That's why you have to know what you're doing when you're arguing. Sometimes you don't even argue. Let them say what they're going to say. And you always clear to safety. You get the kids to safety. Because you know once they're triggered, something coming. You know it's coming. And when you know it's coming, you can feel it in the atmosphere. It's thick as thieves. Like Karen said, they will hurt themselves and then blame you for the damage they did to themselves. They'll break priceless things. If you have any valuable, they will go after it. Because what you going to do, cry and fuss? I don't care nothing about that. And then in later arguments, they will remind you that they destroyed something valuable to you. I know your mother gave that to you and it meant so much to you. I hated it. And because you did this, there was no reason to be destroyed, but they did. When you trigger a narcissist, you got to make sure that you protect yourself. You got to make sure that you protect yourself. You have to make sure that you protect yourself. You cannot trust an angry narcissist. You cannot talk reasonably to an angry narcissist. You cannot bring soundness and wisdom to an aggressive, angry narcissist. You may find that you trigger them and y'all went to bed. He's standing over you staring at you. And when you wake up, he's staring at you. And you jump up saying, what are you doing? Why are you there? And he laughs. And he gets in the bed, goes to sleep. I mean, a good sleep, and never say a word. A triggered narcissist can be a dangerous, dangerous person. You must decide whether you and your kids are safe there. Never underestimate them. Never underestimate their aggression, their ability. Never, never, never. Never underestimate what can happen. Never underestimate what they can do. Those are your feelings. They are not the narcissist's feelings. You got to know the reality of the moment. And you must push into the reality of the moment. Because sometimes you can need something. It's not worth what you need. And you probably need to hold on, hold out, watch your words. See? Because the narcissist is very, very aggressive toward you and the things that they do and the words that they say. And it hurts you. Sometimes they'll go after the kids, the little ones, just to keep you in submission, just to keep you in subjection. Because when you gear and turn on a complaint to the narcissist, about the narcissist, oh, it's hell to pay. Everything just goes wrong. It's radical. Very, very radical. So you got to remember, triggering a narcissist is not the wisest thing. Triggering a narcissist is not the smartest thing. You must know what triggers them, because it can be real easy. It can be about nothing. But for you and the kids' sake, that's something you have to know. That's something you have to know. You have to take responsibility for your emotion. You have to take responsibility for how you feel. And if you know that the narcissist is trying to bring you to a trigger, don't let him. She's a trigger warning. They will also destroy something that can't be replaced, or go out and cheat and make sure that the target knows. They say, it's your fault. You made me do it. It's your fault. Blame shifting. Absolutely. Because a mature person, they will own up to it. Wow. This can be quite devastating. You all gave some good comments on tonight. Karen, as usual, you are awesome. Wow. I was reading some of the comments. Hey guys, be careful. Don't be desperate, but be careful. She says, Danielle said, a triggered narc plays the long game. Yeah, the way out is not the way out is not to play the game anymore. Narcissists like to play games with souls because it makes them feel powerful. Wow. She said, Oh, yeah. Make sure you hit the button, like the button, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. The narcissist is a game player. They don't live like you live. They don't hold the responsibility as you hold it. And it may be difficult emotionally. It may be difficult spiritually. But let this be the lesson you need at this distance. That you don't go back to the narcissist. You don't take things of yours. Wow. This can be tremendous. You've given your life to someone 40 years. This takes thought. This takes time. She said, my ex-friend say the new man gives and her. See, a narcissist, remember, is a different breed. He's a different caliber. He don't play by the same rules. He don't play by the same game. When he plays according to how he is, according to how he feels, and he wants to set that up. She said, starting to control her. Your opinion on this matters. When a narcissist gears you, if he's a spouse, he's added to the family, but you picking this up, that may be, how can I say, that may destroy the opportunity that person wants. Why? Because the narcissist, when they're triggered, they're going to jeopardize everything you have. The narcissist is going to jeopardize it. They'll jeopardize your job. They'll come on your job with a rage. They'll jeopardize you with your friends and tell your friends that you're acting crazy because before your friends, I mean, he's the perfect guy. She's the perfect woman. But behind doors, closed doors, you know the real person. But out in public, they are charming, especially a covert. You have not seen a more charming person than a covert and a psychopath. She said, with violent narcs, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233 or 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE. And for a local domestic violence advocate, they have more local resources and have restraining orders. You may need to get a restraining order that's going to protect you from this narcissist. It's going to protect you. It's going to protect the children. It's going to protect their lives. And you got to remember that. Because sometimes your feelings are so strong, you try to excuse them and have cognizant dissonance. No, 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 no. You got to let them live up to their responsibility. And when this narcissist know they're accountable and they don't want to be accountable, a lot of times the supply get discarded. Which means you may even have to believe God financially, because you can't have a person with you even though they may be financially astute. Threatening your whole house, threatening the peace of the children, the animals. They'll kick them, hit them with no kind of remorse whatsoever. So you have to be careful in how you deal with the narcissist. Okay, y'all, I'm on the roundup. If you have any questions for me, you can pose the questions. I also have Cluster B Free Karen on here. If you have any questions for us to answer, when the narcissist set his eyes on a new target, they will discard you in a heartbeat. Yeah, because now you're a problem and you irritate them. They no longer want to invest in you. They want to invest in the new supply. And when they invest in the new supply, they give themselves to the new supply. And when the new supply call, if they call, do not respond to them. Do not. Because your job is not to keep up with all of his cheating aspects. If he's going to be with them, you don't owe another woman any explanation about anything you go through and have been through with the narcissist. Because that is a arena of disrespect when the narcissist female that he's been messing with calls you. Or he don't deny it. Some narcissists will tell you, yeah, I did it. What you gonna do? Wow. All right, y'all, we are on the countdown. No more questions. Make sure you subscribe and like this page. I want you to join me on next Wednesday where I will be back here. I'm trying to get here a little bit earlier, you guys, but my schedule's so full. But we will be back here next Wednesday. She said when there are children, work with the DV advocates and get help with your escape. This will prevent phony alerts to the police. I think that's Amber Alert. She said, wish say you are on mental unstable and dangerous to the kids. That's a good thing to say. She said, thanks for anyone. Thank you for another good discussion. Crystal, you are so honorable. Thank you so much for being here. And I really appreciate how you added to the forum. Powerful words. She said, thank you all for being here. All right, this is going to end our session, and I'll be back next week right after Fantabulous Bible Study. And when I get more time, I'm trying to come on to do snippets. So look for some snippets or look for others that I'm going to repost and make sure you get more conversation with this. All right, I love you to life, and I will see you on next week. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.